Greetings YouTube and welcome to a new series on my channel titled Who YouTube Thinks Should Be Buffed ASAP, and this is volume number 1. You might recall a couple weeks ago on my channel I made a video with about 5 champions that I thought needed to be buffed and then how to improve them, and I was overwhelmed in a good way with everyone's comments on other people that they thought I missed. And the number 1 requested person was Colossus. Now, before we get to this dumpster fire, I want to say a couple of things. The word buff means improved, so if you haven't heard that before, basically, how do I make a champ that I normally open and feel as though I just gained depression be something that I am now excited to play? This is the emotional equivalent of going to Subway and paying for a chocolate chip cookie and then getting home only to find that you have been given oatmeal raisin instead. That is the best analogy I can come up with as to how sad it is when you think that you're going to open one champion and it rolls to this guy. When somebody says, throw a Colossus his way, that's not a prayer of praise. That's something that you kind of wish on your enemies. And Colossus deserves better than that. He was in the first Deadpool movie, and he's a very important member of the X-Men. So, without further ado, there were 4 suggestions on my last video for Colossus, and I want to start by reading those. Robert Estrada said that Colossus needs to become immune to everything, bleed, poison, etc. Plus, he wants him to have a stun on his level 1, similar to that of Gambit, Ronin, and I would add in Hulk. I think those are all fantastic suggestions. We have very few champions in this game that are also Incinerate immune, and Colossus needs to be. It's an obvious. His ability should be Incinerate immunity, really all immunities. He should be a tank. He should be an unstoppable force, which reminds me, it's so strange that in this game, there's a better version that you can get only through loyalty that's Unstoppable Colossus, which is essentially the exact same thing, but with the same unstoppable ability as Juggernaut. But Colossus shouldn't need the upgrade to be relevant. You shouldn't feel like you're getting the 1.0 version when you open him in a crystal, especially a 5-star crystal that you've saved weeks, maybe even months to open. So that's another random tangent of mine. Now, the YouTube account just known as Sam said, he is probably my number 1 needed buffed character. Sam, I totally hear you. That's why we're doing this now. Now, Jorge, I don't know if this is pronounced right, but it's Lizasso. Sorry, man, if I butchered that. Said Colossus should hit harder or receive a boost in any form. Now, here's my suggestion for you, Jorge. I think Colossus needs to be able to break armor and stack it similarly to Iron Fist. This way, every time you hit somebody multiple times, you're able to gain more attack. And we know that other characters can do this, and Colossus, again, should be a tank, so this is kind of obvious. And then the account, I love this name, Meat Sloth, said Colossus should manually be able to stack armor. And I think what you also mean by this is defense. I completely agree. So as the fight is going on, Colossus should become much more powerful in terms of defense and stack those armor breaks. Just think of how much better this champion would be if not only was he immune to everything, but he also became higher in a defensive rating as the fight went along and broke down your defense as the fight went along with stun. His animations are really easy to dodge. I don't know if necessarily Kabam wants to tweak them like they did some other past champions when they buffed them, but certainly that is something to consider. But at a minimum, I think we can all agree that he needs to be immune to everything. Stun, especially on a special one, would be key. And then stacking armor breaks and also adding the armor ability to be increased for defense are all things that Kabam could do relatively easy that would make this champion instantly better. So that is what I wanted to cover for the first volume of this hopefully lengthy series. Your job now is to comment below and let me know if there's anything that you think I missed from this champion, but more importantly, who's the next champion that I should talk about, and not just who, but specifically how would you buff them, how would you improve them, and maybe, just maybe, I will read your comment and give you a shout out in my next video. Otherwise, have a great day, YouTube, and good luck with all of your crystal openings.